My colleague is just in the back with our sea lions right now, and we are going to be doing something a little bit different for you guys today. It's really, really exciting. You might have seen I've been putting some random things on my beach hits, which I will tell you what they are in just a few minutes. But the reason that we are doing something a little bit different right now is because we have entered our sea lions breeding season, and this just means that all three of our sea lions are very, very hormonal. They're very, very hot and bothered, and they don't really want to do anything. So what we are doing today, guys, is something called an enrichment session, and this is just about the only thing that the sea lions will continue to do. They absolutely love it. So they will be coming out soon, and they will be playing with all of these things that we have put out on their beach. Now, everything that you can see has got their fish inside of it, so they will be having a feed at the same time. They get about 50% of their diet through enrichment, and they absolutely love it. Now, you might be thinking, what is enrichment? I've never heard of this before. But basically what it is different things that we give our sea lions to encourage natural foraging behaviours. What we're trying to get the sea lions to do is experience a foraging session just the same as sea lions would be doing out there in the wild. So sea lions are what we call opportunistic feeders, and this just means they eat pretty much anything that they come across. And this means that they have some really interesting foraging techniques. So when the sea lions come out, they're going to be doing lots of different things, and I'm going to point out a few things for you while you can enjoy them having a bit of fun. So before I do, is everybody ready to meet our sea lions?
Yeah.
You have to be really, really loud, adventurers. Try again.
Yeah.
Amazing. So they will come out just now. We do have 3 sea lions here at Chessington. We have 2 females that are still on the beach. That is Carla and Ariel. And we also have a young male called Hugo as well. Now Hugo is a lot younger than the girls, and he is a bit shy as well. So he has just turned 5 yesterday, and he does like to spend a lot of his time under the water. So throughout the talk, most of the time the sea lions that you will be looking at will be our girls Carla and Ariel, but Hugo will be jumping around as well. So that's him just showing his head there, and the 2 girls are in the middle in front of me. Now, like I said, Hugo is 5, but both of our girls are actually 14. So they are quite a bit older than Hugo, and they have been here a much longer amount of time. So they're very, very comfortable here. They're very used to all of you guys, and they have no issue getting stuck into their enrichment pieces. Now, the sea lion that you can see surfing on these mats right here is our lovely Carla. She is our most chaotic sea lion. She has the most energy out of the group, so she will be zooming around the enclosure as well. Now, the sea lion on the beach right now is her half-sister Ariel. She is a little bit more shy than Carla, but she does really, really love her enrichment, and she is quite often the sea lion that will come up onto the beach and grab all the pieces, and then unfortunately when she gets them in the pool, Carla does tend to steal them from her. Now, like I said, we are trying to encourage several behaviours while we give our sea lions enrichment, and the first behaviour that we are encouraging is searching. So out there in the wild, sea lions will spend most of their time in the water searching for fish that they can eat. Now, of course, sea lions live in the ocean, and this is a very, very big area, so they will be spending a lot of time searching, and they can travel quite a long way. Now, our sea lions here are very, very spoiled, and they often get their fish hand-fed to them, so they don't have to do this searching behaviour. So what we do through enrichment is we post all of the things around the enclosure. We have some things in the pool, some on the jetty, some on the beach, and some on the big rocks as well. And this is to encourage our sea lions to go out and search for their own fish. Now, something else that they will be doing while they are searching is using their amazing whiskers. So you might be able to see on Ariel just now, she was just up on the land a second ago, but all of our sea lions have some amazing whiskers. Now, these are really, really impressive, and it is something that the sea lions will be using when they are foraging in the wild. So sea lions can actually push their whiskers out in front of their faces, and they can detect the movement of a fish from up to 4 meters in front of them. So when the fish is swimming around in the water, they are making little ripples, and the sea lions can feel this with their whiskers, and then they are going to go and try and catch these fish to eat. So that is the first behaviour that we are encouraging from our sea lions, and you can already tell they are very, very good at this. They will get right up there on the beach and grab their enrichment pieces. Now, the next behaviour that we are trying to encourage from our sea lions is a sucking behaviour. Now, this might sound a little bit funny, but it is something that all the sea lions will be doing. If you have a good look at the different pieces of enrichment, especially this pipe down here that Ariel has got right now, you should be able to see that there are lots of small holes. Now, everything here does have holes on it. We are not that mean. We are making sure that all the sea lions can get their fish. But what we want them to do is put their face up against the holes and use a sucking behaviour that acts very much like a vacuum. Now, you might be able to see that all around our enclosure we have a really rocky area, and this is to mimic a natural environment. So out in the wild, sea lions will sometimes forage in rock pools and rocky areas, and what they will do is put their faces up against the cracks in the rocks, and they will use this vacuum behaviour to suck out anything that is inside the cracks in the rocks, and they will swallow everything whole. So something really interesting about sea lions, they do have teeth, but they don't chew their fish at all. They actually don't chew anything. Their teeth are only really used when they are fighting other sea lions. So what they do when they are using this sucking behaviour is simply suck everything out from in between the cracks in the rocks and swallow it down all in one go. They are really, really good at this behaviour, and it's actually Ariel's favourite behaviour. So you can see she comes up on the beach a lot, she grabs a piece of enrichment and she will suck everything out from inside. Now, moving on to the next behaviour, and this is actually linked to sea lions swallowing their food whole, is a behaviour where they will pick up their enrichment, chuck it high up into the air and let it smack back down on the surface of the water. Now this is actually Carla's favourite behaviour. She is very, very chaotic, as I mentioned, and she loves to chuck her enrichment around. Now it can sometimes look like that she might be getting a bit frustrated with her enrichment, but this is actually not the case. What she is doing is she is chucking the enrichment really, really high, and she is hoping that when it falls and smacks down on the surface of the water, that the fish from inside is going to get knocked out of the holes, and then she's able to hoover up this fish. Now this again is another natural behaviour that sea lions will be using in the wild. Now these guys will eat anything that they come across, like I mentioned, and sometimes they will even come across some small sharks. So they do actually love to eat these sharks, but of course this is too big to swallow whole. So what the sea lions will do is they will pick it up by its tail, they will chuck it up into the air and let it fall back down on the water surface. Now they will do this over and over again, they'll give it a really good shake about, and then this small shark is going to break up into smaller pieces, and then the sea lions can swallow these pieces whole. So although Carla looks like she's getting really, really angry, she is actually using this natural behaviour, and she is actually really, really smart, because it is the best way to get the fish out from the pieces. Unfortunately for Carla, because she actually really enjoys this behaviour, she doesn't notice when she is throwing toys up into the air that all the fish is falling out, and usually Hugo is underneath her hoovering up the fish that she's worked really hard to get out of her pieces. So she does do a lot of the work, but Hugo gets a lot of the reward. And this leads me on to the final two behaviours, and these are Hugo's favourite behaviours to use. Hugo is currently at the front of the pool right now with a hoop. You might be able to see him, but he is very, very elusive. He usually stays under the water for most of the enrichment session. And this is because his favourite thing to do is dive deep underneath the water and try and get his enrichment this way. You can see he's doing it right now with that hoop. He's actually pushing it down to the bottom of the pool. Now these are the two most important behaviours for sea lions out there in the wild, and that is breath holding and diving. So sea lions can actually hold their breath for about 20 minutes, and they can dive to depths of 200 metres. Now these are both really, really impressive numbers, and it's definitely something that our sea lions here at Chessington could do. They are quite lazy because they are so spoiled. So because we give them a lot of their fish on the surface of the water, they don't have to hold their breath and they don't have to dive to the bottom of their pool. So what we do is we give them enrichment that they need to sink to get the fish out, because we are just a little bit mean. We also sometimes give our sea lions enrichment that has weights attached to it as well, so they have to hold their breath and go underneath as well. Now the girls don't really enjoy this, but Hugo absolutely loves it. He is amazing at holding his breath. He can probably hold his breath for a good 12 minutes, which is not quite as good as a wild sea lion, but it is much better than our girls. So what he will do with any piece, even if it doesn't have a weight on it, is he will put all of his weight on this enrichment piece, push it underneath the water, and as the piece starts to submerge, bubbles will come up through the holes in the piece and the fish are going to come out as well, and that is how he does his enrichment. So you can tell all three of our sea lions have 3 different ways of getting their fish, and this again mimics what will be happening in the wild. So there are lots of sea lions out there, and there is a lot of different things that the sea lions will be eating. But by having different favourite fish and different favourite ways of getting fish out from the ocean, it means that all the sea lions are able to eat and the fish isn't going to run out. Now, this actually is a really big issue out there in the wild. Sea lions only eat fish. There are lots and lots of different kinds of fish that they can eat, but they don't eat everything like that we do. This just means that when we are fishing as well for our food, we are actually taking the fish from the sea lions and other marine wildlife as well. So overfishing is one of the biggest issues right now, and it is really, really unfortunate. It means a lot of marine wildlife is becoming endangered because they don't have anything to eat. So if we could all go away and just be conscious of what we're eating, it's absolutely fine to eat fish. Everyone likes a little bit of fish now and then. But just make sure that if you are eating out of fish, you're making sure you are buying sustainably caught fish. And this just means that in these areas, it's not being overfished. And it also means that the equipment that the fishermen are using is not going to be left in the water for sea lions and other marine wildlife to get tangled up inside of. Now the sea lions are still enjoying their enrichment, so I'll just let you know one final thing, and that is just how positive these sessions are for our sea lions. Now they do really love it here at Chessington. They have a really good relationship with their trainers and they do really enjoy their training sessions, but this is actually the best thing for them because it has no involvement with us and they are able to do whatever they like. So they can get their fish out however they want it. If they don't want their fish, they can leave it, and if they want to share different pieces of enrichment, they can. So it is really positive for our sea lions. It's great for them to experience this foraging session. It's also great for them to experience a group foraging session. So they're all out here together, they can all do whatever they would like. And it is also really good for them mentally and physically as well. So trying to think how they can get their fish from the different pieces is really good for their mental stimulation, and it's also really good for their fitness as well. So they are doing all of these behaviours such as running along the beach, holding their breath, doing lots of swimming and lots of jumping as well, and it just means that they are going to stay in really good shape. Now after the enrichment sessions, the sea lions do get really tired, and that just goes to show that they have had a really good time. They often come up onto the beach or the jetty and have a nice big nap after they have played with all of their toys. So that is me now. I'm going to wrap up the talk. I hope you have enjoyed learning about sea lions and how they forage out there in the wild. If anyone has any questions for me, please come over and ask, because I do love to talk about sea lions. Otherwise, we hope you have a lovely day here at Chessington, everyone. Our next talk will be at Penguins at 1:30. There is also a lion talk at 2 p.m. and any other talks that you might want to catch, if you download the Chessington app, you will be able to find them on there. Otherwise, thank you very much. Goodbye.
Bye. That's digital. That's Apple.